Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. I have so much to talk about today. What a phenomenal day to be alive as a Philadelphia 76ers fan. Never a doubt in the world. Let's crack this one open. Ah. Oh, shoosh. What up, broski? What up, trees? My man. Pots and pans. There's so much I want to get into today. So much I want to get into. So we're hyped. We're super hyped, man. Thank you for being in here early. I have a lot to talk about. I want to get into it. I want to jump into it as soon as we can. The Sixers team looks really, really good. Abe Link, what's up? Is that the 13th president in the chat? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yo, I know. What up, Lucci? Pat, is that you? What's up, Pat? Yo, what do you guys want me to talk about first? Do you want me to talk about Tobias Harris? Do you want me to talk about James Harden and Embiid? Or do you want me to talk about something else? Somebody drop in the chat what you want me to go out with first. The 13th. Prezi, baby. Amen, Abe. Yo, big dude when it comes to U.S. history. Korkmaz? I don't want to talk about Korkmaz at all. Korkmaz doesn't deserve to be talked about at all. Let me share screen here. Let me get into it. I really want to talk about a lot of what I saw tonight, man. First thing that comes up to my mind is look at these numbers right here. 23 of 27 from the line for Embiid and 10 of 10 for the line for James Harden. Bro, Tyrese Maxey is a marvel. So much to be excited about. What should I get into first? First of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. We're at 1.13. It was a slow grind to get to 1K, but we're finally here, so I'm really happy about that. I want to thank everyone that's gotten me to this point so far. We got 10 in the chat right now. Tell everybody I'm live. Let's get active in this B. I'm probably going to be live for around an hour, a little bit over or so, but the quote unquote foul merchants of Joel Embiid and James Harden have just absolutely dominated the NBA from the moment they came in. And if you look at that, Tyrese Maxey, man, had a phenomenal game. There's something beautiful about seeing Tyrese, Harden, and Embiid having the three most shot attempts by a country mile in the first game. It's really wonderful to see. It really is wonderful to see. I mean, this game is so dominant from Embiid. Like, he had 18 shots, but he had 27 free throw attempts. That is a ton of free throws. Dude had 37, 9, and 4. I think his defense at the end of that fourth quarter really pulled the game away and really got us that W. So it's huge, man. I'm hyped for Embiid. Finally, as somebody to play with. Finally, as a good player to play alongside. It's huge. It really is huge. Let's run into some Harden assists because these things are beautiful. It's just like it's crazy. It's crazy how much I love watching this man pass the basketball. Early DHO there. I mean, that's the best pass of the day right there, maybe. That may be the best pass of the day from Harden to Embiid. Harden runs the fast break off a steal, and look at that. I mean, these two, it's like watching an all-star team play basketball together. Truly, James Harden runs the fast break better than anybody. The way he outlet passes it, it's crazy, but he's also the best half-court passer in the entire NBA. So you can't lose with that. Harden at the hash. A nice little swing to Niang. And when Niang's hitting that bucket, man, he's been good. But when Niang's going to hit that, it's going to be a tough play to beat. It's going to be a tough dude to beat. Niang's a good ball player. I can't believe that Paul Millsap hit that shot. I still think that how crazy that was. But Harden in the pick and roll with Embiid, it's lethal. That swing pass to Maxey. Maxey had a phenomenal game. I'll go over some of his points tonight. What's up, Lucas? What up? Crazy, man. It really was crazy. Harden with the steal, Harden with the easy fast break, and that's just a great pass. I mean, you're setting up Shake for easy success there and the goaltending because, of course, you can't just make it. My thing with Tobias Harris, as we're going through some nice James Harden assists highlights here, my thing with James Harden is that, Tobias Harris is that he was terrible. I mean, this was arguably the worst game of the season for him. And the Knicks had arguably one of their best games. I was not at the game. I ended up staying home. But it was... What do you mean, Lucas? What is that? What are you talking about? What is a wrench? What are you saying? Wrenches. But anyway, as I was saying, Toby probably had one of the worst games of his season tonight. I mean, he really, really, really was bad. He missed everything. He did not look good. That was a crazy pass, by the way. But also, he really stepped it up in the fourth quarter. He had a really, really good fourth quarter and looked really good. He had 2 big buckets. I mean, he hit 2 threes, which is shocking to me. But pretty sure he had 0 points heading into the fourth and then had 12 in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was pretty good in the fourth quarter. But again, he's the one guy that just doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look like he fits at all. You know how hard it is to not... I mean, that pass right there. We have to watch that again. We have to watch this pass again. Look at this pass here. Matisse sets the... I mean, that's unreal. It's the fake to the corner there. It's the eye. So you're going to see here, Harden rolls off of a double pick. That first pick was kind of like a fake pick set by Matisse. That second pick is a clear second pick. What they got here is, okay, it goes small screen. What goes on here is that Evan Fournier is already out of the play, right? Tyrese is wide open. You see Tyrese standing wide open. Why is it pausing here? Harden picks up his dribble and immediately gives that head look to Tyrese. So Quigley's running out to Tyrese on that play, and then he has an easy setup bounce pass to Matisse right there. I mean, that's as good as it gets. I want to watch that full speed. It's this slip screen right there to get him wide open. Fake eye contact. Early, easy bounce pass to Matisse Thybulle. It's as good as it gets right there. I mean, that's beautiful, beautiful work. Truly beautiful work. Unbelievable, man. I'm here for that. I don't expect Tobias to keep struggling. I think he's going to find his placement soon. I would hope so, man. I would really hope that he finds his placement. I think Tobias can't be any worse than he was tonight. I don't think Tobias can be any worse than he is tonight. His problem is he's just not a jump shooter. He's not like a catch and shoot guy. And though that would be sweet if he was, I think he at least can be serviceable if his shots can kind of fall. But, I mean, let's go into the game tonight. Let's see what he did today. And, I mean, again, he only had 9 shots and 2 of 5 from 3. I mean, it was basically the exact same game as he had yesterday. But a big thing he had was that huge offensive rebound. We can watch it. The huge offensive rebound. I mean, this right here was a humongous play for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the fourth quarter. There's 4.5 minutes left, and we're up by 5. Toby doesn't know what he's doing here. He's trying to get Maxey to come around on a pick on him. Tyrese has 3 seconds to put up a shot. It's not going to be a good shot. Toby honestly was open on this play, but I just don't know if there was enough time to get him the ball here. But Toby got great positioning and had a great pass there to, Matisse on that offensive rebound. And then we set up the entire play all over again. I mean, that was a huge offensive rebound. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, Tobias was an absolute negative, because he was an absolute negative until the fourth quarter. And then he had a good fourth quarter. So, I mean, I'm here for that. He was a 40% three-point shooter last year. Bucket. I don't know, man. So much of success comes with, confidence, and I don't think he's rocking with much confidence right now. But also, like, the Sixers' big three, that includes Tyrese Maxey, is insane. I mean, the change of pace, that's everything I've said 2 days ago after the first game, is the change of pace between Tyrese and James Harden is incredible. It really is incredible. Yeah. James Harden just put up, what was it? It was a 25, 15, 5 and 5 game that's never been done before in Sixers history, and he did that in his second night. Bro, I'm Lucas. I'm here for that. If you want to do that, if you want to reach out to me on Instagram after this, we can totally talk about that. My Instagram is just my name. It's the exact same thing as my YouTube. So check it out and then shoot me a DM. We'll talk about it. It seems like Shake lost his role. The way Doc has the rotations now, he's never the main ball handler. He's going to need to hit some catch and shoot threes. Yes. Shake Milton's also not a point guard. He's never been a successful point guard. We just have had to force him into that role because we've had nothing else. But I'm surprised Shake played as much as he did tonight. I want to see how many minutes he had tonight. He played 6.5 minutes. I'm surprised he played because I didn't really see us needing to use him. He went 2 of 3 from the field. He did miss that shot, miss that 3-pointer that I thought was definitely a doable bucket. But James Harden only had 3 turnovers. The man had 5 steals, 16 assists, 10 rebounds, leading rebounder, leading assist getter, leading steals, dude. 29 points, man. James Harden is playing the best basketball since his Houston Rockets days. And if he continues at the pace where he's at right now, I promise you guys, I think this Philadelphia 76ers are the best team in the NBA. I tweeted out today after the game, and I said, the way that the Sixers closed this game out is a way that they've never been able to do so. The way that the 76ers won this game tonight is a way that they've never been able to. And I'm going to go big screen when I say this. I believe the Philadelphia 76ers are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. 2 games in of James Harden, I think we are the best team in the NBA Eastern Conference. Maybe not the NBA entirely. The Suns are really, really good when they have Chris Paul. But again, Chris Paul is out. Chris Paul is out for the remainder of the season, most likely. But if we want to talk about teams that I fear in the Eastern Conference, Milwaukee maybe. But without Brook Lopez, they don't have a single guy in the planet Earth that can guard Joel Embiid on any night. They don't have an answer for Tyrese Maxey either, because you're going to have Drew Holiday, who you're going to have to put on James Harden and still probably lose that matchup. But you can arguably contain Harden because Holiday is one of the better defenders against Harden's in his career. But then you have Chris Middleton, who's a pretty good defender, and you can put him on Tobias, I guess. But then who are you going to have to guard Tyrese Maxey? And the X factor of Tyrese Maxey genuinely makes this Sixers team become extremely scary. Extremely scary. It's an entirely new facet of the game. He is really, really good. Tonight he had 21 points again, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. He looked awesome. A couple of his layups, super contested, super, super good. He's just an incredible basketball player right now. I'm surprised, but I'm not shocked of how quickly he has been acclimated to being a stud, like an absolute all-star level stud next to James Harden. It was really undersold how the Sixers went from having 0 playmakers and being 3rd in the Eastern Conference to getting the best playmaker in the entire NBA. It's underrated. It's underappreciated. It's under everything. It's incredible what the Sixers can do now with a guy who can give you 16 goddamn assists on any given night and looks like he doesn't even try. There wasn't a moment in today's game where I thought we were going to lose, because you knew in the 4th quarter, when the 6 minutes left, we would have Joel Embiid and James Harden in at the same time. And right now, guys, there are not 2 players in the NBA playing as well as those guys. And we have both of them. We have the best player in the entire world with Joel Embiid. We have the best point guard in the entire world in James Harden. We have the best superstar duo fit in the entire world of Joel Embiid and James Harden. And we have Tyrese Maxey, who is arguably maybe the best number 3 on a team, any given team right now. Maybe. And he's also 21 years old. So let's keep that in mind, in the back of our heads. So it may not work out this year, but damn, are the Sixers going to be scary next year. because I don't see Tyrese Maxey regressing at any point. James Harden either. I mean, the way that the Sixers' pace of play right now is absolutely 10 times faster than it was in 2 weeks ago before getting Harden. It's crazy. But at the same time, we are a demolition on half-court offense because we have the two best half-court offensive players in the entire NBA. Whenever we need a bailout bucket, regardless of how much time or who is in the court, it's a bucket because we either have Harden, who we can count on in any ISO given situation, while I believe in and I trust in more than the majority of people in the NBA, or Joel Embiid, a guy who's been doing it for 48 minutes a night, every single night this year. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Let's get in some comments. Rom's going to make an excuse for Korkmaz. He's been dodging me. Me and Rom need to make a video. Harden's playing like he's 25 again. See, but the thing is, though, he's not. Like, he's not. What makes James Harden so incredible is that Harden doesn't rely on athleticism to be an incredible player in the NBA. So his game's going to age. It has aged. He's 32 years old, and he's still playing like a freaking MVP. He was in the MVP race last year when he was moved to Brooklyn. If we can remember, he has the highest winning percentage in the Nets out of every guy on their team last year. He still has, the highest winning percentage on that team. He is a legitimately incredible basketball player to this day because he's not a super athletic guy. We don't need him to be this. Have we seen a Harden dunk yet? I don't think so. So it's not that he's playing like he's 25. He just finally gives a shit again. And as long as he gives a shit, the Sixers are going to be really, really good. I don't know about that, Trees. I don't think Giannis would guard Harden. I mean, Giannis would have to guard Embiid, you would imagine. I mean, Giannis is the only guy in the city of Milwaukee that could even give Embiid any bit of a tough time. And you know what? You might be right, but I think they would at least give it a try. Nah, Ibaka doesn't have it like that anymore. Ibaka does not have it like that. Do you think Morey makes a move with the buyout? They haven't played. Willie Cauley-Stein and Millsap is scaring me out there. Even another shooter would be nice. I don't know. He has 2 days, I believe. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe it's not March 1st either. I could be wrong, but I thought it was March 1st. I just think Paul Reed and Charles Bassey are better moves now than Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap is not the answer. He's not the answer. Willie Cauley-Stein hasn't even seen tick, which is concerning to me. I would really appreciate at least to see him tonight a little bit, to run with Harden, to run with Tyrese, to run with somebody that I think could show him off a little bit in the pick and roll game, but we didn't get that. That's frustrating to me. It's definitely frustrating. I think that a backup five is, Derek Favors is the ideal thing here, but he needs to be bought out. And Oklahoma City does not buy guys out. That's not what Sam Presti does. He doesn't just get rid of people for free. So I don't think he'll get bought out. And it's interesting, man. It's going to come down to Paul Reed and Charles Bassey. It's got to come down to that. And it's got to come down to the point where the Sixers fans need to push Doc Rivers into doing that like we did with staggered lineups. We need to get Paul Reed and Charles Bassey minutes because Millsap's not going to work out, man. It's not going to work out. Did you see that Harden said he only knows a few plays and he's just winging it? He said that in the post-game press game conference. I didn't see that, Lucas. I actually haven't watched any interviews yet. I took a little bit nap. Plus, my Wi-Fi was out until like 5:30. But I did not see that. I would love to go and watch that. It doesn't surprise me. A lot of the plays can be ran without Harden's knowing of it. In reality, he is the roll man. He is the ball handler of a pick and roll situation. And the one play that I pointed out was one of his later assists. To Matisse Thybulle on that double pick. Matisse comes up and sets him that first pick, and it's like a zone read or like a read option. Matisse Thybulle can either set the pick and roll, or set the pick and pop. But instead, he does a slip screen, which is a kind of a fake screen. Then he rolls to the basket. A super heads-up play by Matisse Thybulle. Super heads-up play. So by doing that, both of his guys stay with Harden and they leave Matisse because Matisse knows nobody's going to stay with him when they pop. And his defender just expected Matisse to stand behind the three-point line and pop. But instead, Matisse slipped the screen and rolled to the basket, which is a super heads-up move on Matisse Thybulle. And then Harden continues dribbling it up the top of the key behind the three-point line, and Embiid comes and sets the pick. And what better person to come up and set a pick than the dominant Joel Embiid? That brings 3 defenders to that play. Matisse Thybulle's man, Harden's man, and Embiid's man. Embiid holds that pick a little bit longer. Harden picks up his dribble because he sees Tyrese Maxey is standing wide the hell open because his man now switched to Matisse Thybulle under the basket. But he's playing like both sides, right? Harden picks it up and he has like the perfect Tom Brady eyes. I mean, he looks directly at Tyrese with the ball like this. Defender is going to expect him to throw it to him. And then he does a slip bounce pass to Matisse for the easiest dunk of that man's career. So when it comes to play calls, it's so basketball IQ heavy that we don't really need to run a million plays. And it's not like this huge thing, man. It's not like football. It's not like we need a receiver to understand every single route, and chemistry is as insane as it is in football. It's not like that. James Harden is an absolute maestro. He has orchestrated beautiful offenses before, and it's something that's just going to come, and that's great to hear, though. I don't really know how I feel about DJ Augustine. I mean, I would like to argue that he's not a good player anymore. I know he's shooting upwards to 40% from 3 this year, but he's so undersized. He doesn't solve a defensive issue for us. So I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm surprised and not surprised. One, I'm surprised because it seems that he likes to be in Orlando. So I'm like, I don't get that. But it also is kind of like, I'm pretty sure he wants to catch a bag this offseason. And what better opportunity to get a bag than to get higher volume plays in Orlando. So it's 50-50 with me, Trees. But I do agree. That would have been a beautiful acquisition. I agree with you, Greg. Harden was actually running really fast. I mean, it's not even like the speed that kills. It's his pace. It's the way he moves is so manipulative over the defense. Like the way that James Harden operates is so intelligent. Like he's constantly this change of pace player. He's like what I've always wanted Shake Milton to be, because he is just so dominant as a ball handler and as a passer and as a scorer that every single level of James Harden has to be accounted for on the defensive end. And it's really amazing what Harden can do in the fast break, because he can even catch a rebound, and it's a super quick outlet pass. I mean, you saw his pass to Shake Milton for an easy 2. You see a lot of his passes to Matisse Thybulle. I mean, I want to see how many points Matisse had tonight, because Matisse, I bet you if we watch this, had all of his points from he had 8 points tonight. And I want to say that every single point that he had tonight was assisted from yours truly, James Harden. What Harden's doing right now, it's really, really impressive. So immediately we see Harden with either super quick pass right there immediately to Matisse, because the defense is so slow to react. It's an easy dunk. You're going to watch Matisse's points per game, and you already have, go up, because the way Harden here. So here, it seems that Embiid's going to be coming up to set this pick. And as these two dudes are the best players in the NBA, it's going to demand so much, like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's so much pressure that these two guys put on that you need to have so much attention, there we go, on this pick and roll. Tobias Harris's guy moves. Julius Randle, as you can see, is stuck between Maxey or Thybulle. And Maxey is a stud, ladies and gentlemen. So he is also going to attract some pressure. Fournier doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And one of the few guys in the NBA who can make this pass look as simple and as easy as James Harden did right here. Look at this. Incredible. Incredible. He gave the look off to Julius Randle, and it's an easy assist. Here's another one. Harden at the top of the key. I mean, the ability to just put the ball in the perfect position for Matisse. He's using Matisse Thybulle as something I would say like Thabo Sefolosha. That's a guy who's kind of coming to my head a little bit in the OKC days of Harden. I don't know if you guys remember Thabo Sefolosha. The dude couldn't score for shit, but he was an all-world defender. And he was on some teams that went to the Western Conference Finals and the finals. Tabo's a winner. Matisse Thybulle reminds me a lot of him, but I think the difference is that Tabo is probably a little bit better of a shooter, and Matisse is probably a little bit better of a defender. But again, you see plays like this right here where Harden just sets Matisse up for the only place that he can succeed. I mean, that's also a great read by Matisse. Matisse is a really good reactor to the play. He really is. Here's going to be another one, and this is the exact play that I was telling you about. If I could break this down one more time for you guys, this is my favorite play of the night. My favorite play of the night. The Sixers are up 11 with 2 minutes now. We started pulling away. Harden has this, and Matisse right here can either pick and roll, pick and pop, or do exactly what he's going to do here and slip screen. And that's what he does. He gets his man, Fournier, to double Harden because there's no communication within the Knicks here. And now there are 2 men on Harden. Embiid's going to come around, set this pick. Now there are 3 guys on Harden. Harden sees everything. He picks up his dribble because, A, he can give it to Tobias Harris in his corner, who could probably pump fake 6 times and then miss a shot. 2, Tyrese Maxey is wide the hell open with his hands open. Or hands up, I should say. So you see Emmanuel quickly make that clear read to Tyrese because he's following Harden's eyes. Once Harden sees that, bang, manipulated the living hell out of the defense. This is my favorite play of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's a work of art. That play is a work of art. But again, that's his 3rd bucket, and every single bucket Matisse Thybulle made tonight was an easy 2 by yours truly, James Harden. Would love to get back to the box scores here. No box score available. All right, well. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Got a lot of comments I got to catch up on. What up, Nelson? What up? Yeah, having Paul Millsap as a backup center is tough. Just size. He doesn't really have much of it. But he also isn't really he's not really a good enough shooter to be like that stretch 5. I think at least we give Willie Cauley-Stein some minutes, you know what I mean? I mean, the Sixers' offensive rating and efficiency is going to be through the roof. I mean, we now have the best point guard in the NBA. And people are like, oh, Harden folds in the playoffs. As long as James Harden plays better than Ben Simmons did last year, we're a finals team. And I promise you, Harden could have one arm and still play better than Ben Simmons did last postseason. So, I mean, I'm not worried about it. I like this little comparison. I would probably not get DJ Augustine simply for the fact that the George Hill issue would arise. I'm not really a fan. Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy statistic, Kevin. I'm glad that you said something because it's wild. We put up 123 tonight, 125 points tonight after putting up 133 last night. It's seriously, it really is. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think Maxey's probably the biggest. I mean, outside of Embiid, Embiid's obviously the biggest beneficiary of this entire thing. He's wide open. He's getting the most wide open shots he's ever seen. Embiid almost had 40 tonight, and it didn't feel like it. It's really crazy how much gravity Harden attracts and how much open space he can create for his big man. I mean, this is the best teammate that Harden has ever had. Maybe KD, but they didn't play enough together. OKC is a different story. You know what? I'll take that back. This is the best big man that he's ever had. And I think that's the most important thing for Harden because Harden, his game is predicated on a pick and roll. And I love that people said, well, Embiid can't run the pick and roll. Well, Embiid is not a pick and roll guy. Well, Embiid's on the bottom percentile of scoring out of a pick and roll, and he doesn't really roll very well. It's Joel Embiid. He can do whatever. He does every single thing that an NBA player has to do at his size and more, and he's the best at it. He is a complete NBA player. He constantly talks about how he is a complete NBA player. You think guy who learned how to, you genuinely believe that a 7'2" guy who learned how to do a step back 3-point jumper and hit it with efficiency can't learn to run a pick and roll with the best pick and roll man, arguably, of this generation outside of Chris Paul? Crazy. That's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing he could do. Yes. You're saying more than Furkan Korkmaz and Danny Green. I think Isaiah Joe should 100% take all of Korkmaz's minutes. Danny Green, maybe not. Danny Green's a veteran. I like how many minutes he's getting out lately. He's like 10 to 15 minutes. That's all we need, man. I really enjoy Danny Green's 10 to 15 minutes. As long as I don't have to watch Danny Green like literally chalk up 20 minutes a night, at least I'm just like, Jesus Christ, get this guy off the court. Excuse me. I really believe Isaiah Joe should be getting all of Furkan Korkmaz's minutes. Even Shake Milton. I love Shake. He's one of my favorite players on the team. But Isaiah Joe, man, is perfect for the way this team is right now, and he deserves more minutes. I find it funny that Doc refuses to try Paul Reed or Bassey in a lineup with Harden. Would you consider picking up Cantor instead? I can't stand. See what I did there? I can't stand Enes Freedom. I can't. I don't want him anywhere on my team. I don't care how okay he is. But probably. I mean, Cantor's better than, or Freedom, whatever the hell the dude's name is. He's a better fit and player than Millsap and Willie Cauley-Stein, arguably. So, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? I don't like him. I think Charles Bassey. I can't hear you. I'm not talking. I'm back. What up, Ryan? I forget what I was saying, but it's okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Charles Bassey and Paul Reed deserve to take all of those minutes and figure it out. We have 20-something games left. Just find a way to figure out which guy is going to be the better player. Because it's not going to be Paul Millsap. And so I'm focused on trying to figure out which guy it's going to be. Because it's not Millsap. So what seems to be the problem here? That's the thing. We don't know unless Doc tries it. We do know that Paul Reed can be leased. So my thing, I'll break down each case. Even for Millsap. I'll break down with the Paul Millsap case. The case to play Paul Millsap over Paul Reed and Willie Cauley-Stein and Charles Bassey is the fact he's a veteran. He has veteran experience. He has been in some seriously tough playoff battles, right? But the downside to him is he isn't really good enough at anything anymore. He's a solid rebounder, but he's not the best one out of these guys I'm going to talk about. He's an okay shooter, but he's not good enough to be a stretch five, and he's undersized because he's never meant to be a center. Because if you can't shoot 40% from three, you're just not bringing enough. And he's 37 years old, and he just doesn't have it physically anymore. He doesn't. When it comes to Charles Bassey, the downside is we've seen like 48 minutes of this kid. In a vacuum, he is a very athletic big man who can roll to the rim really, really well. And that's the guy that we need to have alongside James Harden. But on the downside, there's nothing else he can do. But on the upside, there doesn't have to be anything else he has to be able to do. Because we're not asking him to go out and do anything that I would ask a brand new kid that doesn't know how to play basketball. All we need Charles Bassey to do is to be able to run up and down the court and be athletic. And he is an athletic rim runner. That's what he is. Theoretically, that's what he is. So we need Bassey. If Bassey's going to be the choice, we need Bassey to set a good pick, roll to the rim, catch an alley-oop, and get some rebounds. He is a good rebounder. A very good rebounder, I would say. Maybe not very good, but he is a good rebounder to a little bit above average. But he is not a great defender. He's not disciplined when it comes to basketball, but he has some shining moments where I believe that he can be a really good backup center in his career. I was a huge fan of him at Western Kentucky. He broke some of the best records at Western. I mean, he was an elite rebounder in college. Elite. He's one of the only guys. He may be, actually, somebody fact check this, but he may be the only guy ever at Western Kentucky to make one of the all NCAA teams, whatever the hell they're called. He was a legitimate stud. Paul Reed. Paul Reed is what I believe the Sixers should go to. I believe that Paul Reed is that guy. I think he's better than Paul Millsap, and I think he is better than Charles Bassey, and I think he's better than Willie Cauley-Stein all right now. Paul Reed, to me, is the biggest wild card, though. You don't really know what you're going to get out of him, but you know you're going to get absolute disgusting hustle. I mean, Paul Reed is a guy who is going to work harder than anybody else on the court all the time. I mean, out the mud is legitimately a fact because Paul Reed has grinded his way to get here. He was never a household name in college. He was never a big prospect in high school. He's never been the most physically gifted player in the NBA. But he is an absolute workhorse, and he's the reason why I believe that he has to be the backup five because he's a crazy athlete. He is a really, really good athlete, and I think simply because of pick and roll, it's going to really, really work out next to James Harden. Downside is he is a string bean. He's a string bean. He's not strong enough to set really physical picks, and he's not strong enough to really be able to bang down low and catch rebounds. But he's also an offensive rebounder, a pretty damn good one too, because he has a knack for the ball. He does. His problem is the same as Isaiah Joe's, and they're just neither of them can dribble, and neither of them have any size to them where they will get bullied, and they do get bullied around a lot. I think Isaiah Joe, when he tacks on some muscle and LBs, he's going to be a literal, legit option for this team. I see a higher ceiling for Isaiah Joe than most people probably do because I see what he can be if he gains a little bit of weight. But that's a part of maturation, and a lot of these guys just are young. Really, really young. And so I think Paul Reed is the guy because I think Paul Reed is the highest energy guy. He's the best defender out of all of them, without a doubt for me. He is the most switchable defender out of all of them for me. He knows how to guard a pick and roll. He can guard perimeter players better than Bassey, better than Cauley-Stein, and definitely better than Millsap. But he just isn't there all around yet, so we don't really have any great options. But I would probably say Paul Reed, to finish my point, is the guy to choose out of them. Do you have basketball experience, Greg? Your terminology and breaking down the game is excellent. Thank you, Lucas. I do have some high school basketball experience, but I've watched a lot of basketball in my life, and I surround myself with it probably too much. I think the people around my life would say I watch basketball and care about it a little bit too much, but you know what? Screw them. This is about me and what I want to do with my life. Willie Cauley-Stein needs those minutes, man. So much potential there with Harden. Literally all he has to do is play defense around the floor. Yeah, theoretically. His thing is he just physically didn't look good at all. Like his body was like not what I remembered it to be. But again, it was 4 minutes, so like let's give the guy some a break. You know what I mean? I have so many comments I gotta catch up on. Matisse's great size and athleticism and offense and develop a decent shooter. I mean, dude, if he can develop a shot, he's a problem, like a serious problem. I think Cauley-Stein is the safety valve for the buyout market. If a Robin Lopez doesn't get bought out, I expect Cauley-Stein to be signed for the rest of the year. You would imagine Abe, the 13th president of the United States of America. Crazy how you're still alive, dude. Crazy. Good for you. You got to get me on your skincare, bro. But I don't think Robin Lopez is the move because he doesn't fit anything we do here in Philadelphia. I mean, he's the most unathletic human being I've ever seen in my life. But have to drive home, Greg. I'll catch you later. Learn a lot from you. Your basketball IQ is elite. Lucci, my man. Appreciate you. Drive safe. If we redraft the 2020 draft, Maxey goes in the top 3, no doubt. LaMelo, Edwards, Maxey. You're taking him over Wiseman? Probably, man. Yo, Maxey, I remember that Bleacher Report did that a couple months ago, and Maxey was like 5, maybe 4. But you're right, dude. You're right. You got to be right. He really should have been. Trees, I do know. I mean, Korkmaz is just really bad. Really, really bad. Shake's shot form is brutal. It's never been good. It's like really herky-jerky and like hunky and kind of gross, but you know what I mean? It's whatever, man. It's whatever. I'm just going to go all the way down to what we got here. There's a bot? Oh, smokes, there's a bot. Bot be gone. I don't even know how to figure that out, dude. I don't know how to figure out mods and shit. So my thing with Tyreek Evans, I got in a fight with some random guy on some random YouTube video comment section. Dude, he's a Philly guy. I understand what he used to be able to bring, but the guy hasn't played in the NBA in 3 years. In 3 years, the guy hasn't played in the NBA. What the hell are we supposed to do with a dude who hasn't played in 3 years? I mean, maybe. You know, maybe. Again, theoretically, if it's 2014, hell yeah. Sign me up for some prime time Tyreek Evans. But I just don't think what he does anymore. Honestly, I don't even know what he does anymore. I don't even know. Paul Reed did shoot 40% on a huge sample size, but his thing is like it's never been translated to the NBA. Like never. He's never been able to translate it to the NBA. Nick, 150%. 150%. I would probably take John Collins simply because I think he's the way better player. But Jeremy Grant John Collins. I'll take John Collins. Collins would be disgusting in Philly. I don't think these trades would ever happen. I would see more. Okay, so let's think about it. Tobias Harris is, after this year, has 2 years left on his deal. So basically, you could tell a team, look, he's on an expiring. Not really, but what's another year? 2-year deals are much easier to trade than 3. I think there are teams that are going to be interested, 100%. I don't think those teams include the Atlanta Hawks, though maybe I'm wrong. But Tobias Harris is just a worse John Collins. And the Pistons have no reason to trade him either. I think maybe that you would see him get moved to like Oklahoma City, and then we could get back. I have no idea, but I think it's more going to be a salary dump, or you're going to see a trade to the Kings. You're going to see Tobias Harris go to Sacramento. They're going to run out Sabonis and Harris at the 4 and 5. We're going to get in return like Harrison Barnes maybe, or like some guys who can just shoot the 3 ball. Because at the end of the day, that's literally all this team needs is just more volume shooting because we don't have any of it. Any of it. Yeah, I think Paul Reed's done a great job in all of the minutes he's had. I see a lot. I see problems, of course, but he's a literal kid. He's an athletic freak who wants to play basketball really, really bad, and I think he deserves a chance. And I didn't love Doc Rivers tonight, but I liked him enough that we got the W, and I was kind of excited about it. And I wasn't super mad that he took us out of the game. I don't love Harden running out with 4 backup guys because that's the reason why Harden left Brooklyn, and why the hell are we doing the exact thing that he doesn't want in Philadelphia? I don't know. So I don't like that. But I at least he's staggering guys. At least he's trying shit. But what really bothers me is the fact that he continues to give Millsap these minutes, even when we're up by 15 points on teams. Like, play the other guys. Isaiah Joe played 4 minutes 2 days ago, and he had 8 points. I don't think he missed a shot. Like, play the guy. Like, play him. What can Isaiah Joe not do compared to Furkan Korkmaz? I don't understand. I really don't see it, and it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. That's what frustrates me the most from him. I won't say that, though. I won't say that. I think I genuinely believe that Doc has done a good job this year. Like, we have to remember that we're the 3rd team in the Eastern Conference, in the best the Eastern Conference has ever been in the past 20 so years. We're 3rd in the Eastern Conference at the All-Star break without Ben Simmons. So, does he have his flaws? Of course. But he's not gone. He's not gone, especially because I think the Sixers team is going to do some damage. There's not a team where I think we lose to in the playoffs. Of course, the playoffs, and of course, it's a while from now. Anything can happen. But when it comes down to it, like, matchup-wise, I think the Sixers can beat anybody in the playoffs. I really do believe that. You'd think move Millsap to the 4, but you've got Harris and Niang there. It's a tough situation, but Millsap should be on the outside looking in, not a backup. 100%. I mean, look, I like Paul Millsap. I used to love him in Atlanta. I liked him in Utah. I hate Utah, but I liked him in Utah. And I liked him in Louisiana Tech when I used to watch highlights of him in college. The guy was a monster, but he's 37 years old now. He's just not a guy we have to force to put into a lineup because he's just not good anymore. He's just not good anymore. What up, Bird? What's going on, broski? Welcome. Lucas, to answer your question, Niang will never be able to be a sixth man. He doesn't do nearly enough. He doesn't do nearly enough. Also, if the Sixers are rolling, Niang should not be the sixth man. He's just not good enough to be a sixth man. He could be like a 7-8, but to be, that first guy off the bench, it's questionable sometimes. That's very true, Bernard. I mean, it's interesting you say that because that's what Maxey would have had to go through if Ben Simmons didn't do the greatest justice to the Philadelphia 76ers and decide not to play. Because if Ben Simmons is playing, we don't have James Harden and we don't have Tyrese Maxey playing as incredible as he is. I've said this so many times, but Ben Simmons doing what he did was the best thing that has ever happened to this organization. It really was, and it's incredible, and I'm super excited about it. Every single day, man, I'm watching these Sixers games. I've watched NBA highlights of the Sixers games like 17 times. I'm so excited. Like every game I'm watching. It's 2 games in and I'm just straight up smiling. Outside though, I will say today, I almost cried because I thought Embiid was going to go down and injured. Oh, that's so funny. Literally. I was terrified. I almost had a heart attack. I tweeted that out. I thought we would give anyone a tough series before he got Harden, and now with Harden, I think we could be favored. That was exactly my tweet. I said something about Embiid and then something about Harden. And then I was like, it's the best duo in the NBA, I believe. Then they work together better than anybody. That I think they are going to be the favorite. They should be favored in any series. Any series. I'm going to the game on Wednesday, and I really don't know if I've ever been more excited. Bro, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Try to be off your phone as much as you can be and just soak in the moment because it's a historical game you're going to, bro, and it's awesome. It really is awesome. I'm jealous. I was going to go to the game today because I live in New York, but I was like, tickets were crazy, crazy expensive. But when Embiid went down, I was like, shit, here we go again. Harden's going to be like, I'm out. It's crazy, man. Let's just go through some shots. Let's go through some stuff. Harden looked good, man. Harden looked really, really good. Yeah. I'll take the cookies, whatever. I want to check out the box score. What is going on with this box score? All right, let's go around the league. Let's play around the league. This game was crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know if you guys saw this game, but the Jazz Suns game was wild. Rudy Gobert, imagine going 5 of 13 from the field and the only thing you do is dunk. He had a minus 15. I hate this, man. I really do. Clarkson had a solid day off the bench. Bogdanović struggled. I mean, the Jazz won this game, and I think Donovan Mitchell was the only dude that played well. And he didn't even play that well, but he hit 6 threes, which is huge. Let's go through the huge game-changing play. The Jay Crowder turnover. All right, so let me get this play. The Jazz are up 3. Donovan Mitchell has the basketball here with 4 seconds left, and obviously there is basically nothing else this man can do other than shoot the basketball. He comes off of a pick. He puts up a relatively wide open shot. I mean, in the grand scheme of the NBA, it doesn't really get much more open than this off of a pick and roll as a ball handler with 10 seconds left. Almost goes in and out, rims out. Crowder gets the rebound, right? Now, Jay Crowder is a veteran player. He's a dog. He's a guy who killed the Sixers, and he's a guy who I really, really enjoy watching play basketball because I think he's really, really good. And I think he's that type of glue guy that every championship team needs. Gets the rebound, immediately doesn't know what to do with the ball. Gets the ball to Cam Johnson, gets the ball back. Here is where this man just sold. Look at this pass. What are you doing? Look at Monty. Monty Williams here and the Suns coach. The Nets have 1 timeout. I don't know why they haven't called it yet. because this play does not look like it's going anywhere. Making a pass like that with 4.5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, probably not going to end up in resulting in a score. So Monty Williams now, with 3.9 seconds, is screaming at the referee to call a timeout. Referee doesn't see it. Jay Crowder already has the ball picked up. Maybe you could argue that he sees Monty Williams do that call, and a split-second reaction kind of fumbles his mind a little bit, but he wants to get the ball to Devin Booker. Instead, he passes it to his coach, and Monty is pissed. Let's watch it in full speed here. I love Jay Crowder, but what are you doing, buddy? I don't know what anyone was doing. This was just a terrible play. And that's the game. I don't even know what he's doing. He's just accepted defeat there. He accepted defeat there. I wouldn't take Crowder over. Crowder over Tobias. Yeah. But, I think Tobias is going to have some pretty solid, trade value at some point. Oh, where's the camera? Cotton candy, baby. Cotton candy. I'm at a carnival. I'm living life like I'm at a carnival. I'm hype. He was smiling because he didn't know what else he was like, shit, yeah, man, I messed up. Man. From a contract standpoint, of course, but I genuinely believe that we'll be able to get something worthwhile in the oh shit. I think we're going to be able to get something worthwhile in the Tobias Harris deal. All right, now back to the Sixers here before, and then I can go back on what up, Faust? Toby looked lost, but he did be pretty huge for us in the fourth quarter. I will admit that, man. Toby came in clutch when we needed them, and that's all we need. Not sponsored by Bang yet. That's my new slogan. Not sponsored, but almost. I love that Niang only puts up threes. I'm here for it. The plus minus of those three guys, of Maxey, Harden, and Embiid. I believe when these three guys on the court, I don't think there's a team that can beat us. I just hate seeing Isaiah Joe and Paul Reed not get minutes at all. At all, man. Millsap at 6 points. Let's watch his buckets. I'm gonna have to mute this though. It's frustrating. Come on. Whatever. I'm not dealing with it. I don't want to watch Paul Millsap highlights that much. Unless you guys want to go out and watch some Paul Millsap YouTube videos. I don't know if I'll be able to get away with that, but. Let's watch some Joel Embiid do Joel Embiid shit. And let's count, guys, how many buckets are assisted from Harden as I go out the screen. Going to be the first one. An incredible pass by Harden, obviously. The man has 16 assists tonight, guys. 16 assists. Embiid, easiest two. Harden with another one. This is going to be another incredible. Look at that. Oh, it brought the house down. 2 incredibly easy buckets from his new point guard, his new co-star. Here's going to be another one. Look at these easy buckets that he's just getting set up for. That's a great shot, but that's three. His first 3 buckets made today, all assisted by Harden. Harden, here's another one. This is a great little pocket pass. And 1. 4 for 4, ladies and gentlemen. This duo is unstoppable. It's unstoppable. At no point tonight did I think we were going to lose this game. He's going to come over, alley-oop, bang. Look at that. Bang. Bang. And that's a great play. I kind of want to watch that again. No? All right, whatever. And of course, his dominant pick and roll game. His post game. That's crazy. I'm excited to go watch my favorite play for him tonight. It's coming up. The way Harden just precisely makes that pass, precisely pushes the pace because he knows he's up 1. It's a great play. Oh, what I was thinking of, it was a Hakeem shake he had, but it ended up being a foul, so it wasn't a bucket. I do want to watch some blocks though. Fourth quarter, he was so huge, so huge. Embiid just patrols down low, dude. Look at this. Oh, that's a crazy block. It's such a crazy block, and then Shake fouls him. But whatever. So here we go. Third quarter, 8.5 left, or 8:50 left. I guess that's on a half. Sixers up 7. What's so funny about this play here is that normally when Alec Burks, especially a guy who loves to shoot the basketball, when you have Maxey on your hip like that behind you after a pick and roll, he's going to drive the lane. But he sees Joel Embiid, and immediately, as soon as Embiid puts his hand up, immediately passes out. RJ Barrett, a guy who is ballsy as all hell, I'll give him props for that, goes right at Embiid. And he gets his shit swatted. Absolutely swatted. So now they got Quickly on him. Quickly, arguably one of the faster dudes in the NBA. Blows by, and then Embiid takes off from 2 feet before the free throw line and sends that shit in the 13th row. That's a crazy block. Let's watch this again. This is just pure athleticism and timing that Embiid does better than anybody else. Bang. That's Defensive Player of the Year right there. And you know why this is happening, guys? It's because he doesn't have to exert 100% energy on the offensive end. That he can do this on both sides of the court now because James Harden's out there taking a toll. And every play here, you see Embiid is guarding the perimeter. He switches on a pick and roll up top, and he's literally guarding perimeter guards, ball-dominant guards. Evan Fournier, another guy who had a really good game today. Embiid is out there. That is incredible. His footwork. Evan Fournier has been hitting step backs all night long. He hits that hesitation move that any defender, any big man is going to go for. Embiid didn't go for it. And again, another huge block. Another fourth quarter block. Doesn't get better than that, man. It doesn't get better than that. He's an absolute dominant force. Straight up dominant force. James Harden, RB. James Harden. I've seen you've been killing it lately, broski. And I love it. I love it. We're all killing it right now because James Harden is the greatest thing to ever happen to Philadelphia 76ers YouTube. I'll say it again. He's the greatest thing to ever happen to Philadelphia 76ers YouTube. Nah, you can keep CJ McCollum. I don't want CJ McCollum. I don't want CJ. The thing is, man, look, such a huge reason as to why this works is not only that we have contrasting players who are so goddamn good. Embiid a center, Harden a point guard, shooting guard, whatever you want to call them. But they play the game the exact same way. They are the same players. So the way they work together is perfect. They don't get in each other's ways ever. When they are coexisting, they are the best because they make each other better. It's not like Harden was in Brooklyn. Harden had to do way more on the basketball side of things in Brooklyn because he had 2 guys on the court at the same time who were the same player as him. So it was harder for him, right? But now he has a guy who literally thrives off of Harden's game. And so those two are just coexisting and playing the best basketball they could possibly play together. And I know it's early, but what makes you say this isn't going to get better? What makes you think that this isn't going to get better? This is 2 games in, and their chemistry looks like they've been playing together their entire careers. I don't know. Maybe we're not going to see Harden play this defense the way that we saw tonight. He had 5 steals, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's exciting. It's really exciting to watch these 2 guys go to work together, and they are some of the best basketball players in the world. I'm glad I went up and got this comment. James Harden put up a 25, 15, 5, and 5 game. It's never been done before in Philadelphia 76ers history. So he just did something in his second game that's literally never been done. Never been done, dude. So, we're living live. We're living life, I should say. If you guys want to watch more highlights, let me know. I'll break some shit down. CJ would be 1,000 times better than Toby. All we need is a knockdown three-pointer. Yeah, but defensively, CJ is one of the worst in the NBA. The last thing we need is another guard who can play defense. I'll pass on that, man. I'll rather take 3. Look, when it comes down to a Tobias trade, Morey has 2 options, right? Maybe there's only 2 options in the world he takes. One, he trades him for CJ McCollum straight up. Or he trades him for like 2 or 3 guys off the bench who can just 3-and-D it. Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking the latter 10 times out of 10. So what are the chances of Ben Simmons playing the first game after March 10th? You want me? I can break down Maxey. Let's break down Tyrese. Tyrese is a little bit more interesting to break down because a lot of his shit is just very freak of nature athleticism that leads him to buckets. That's why I love him so much, because you can't explain a lot of the things that he does because they shouldn't be as easy as they do. So, all right, Tyrese had 8 of 14 from the field today. Let's go. Let's go. This is one of my favorite plays that Tyrese does because, as you see, there's 4 guys. The whole Knicks team's back already, and yet this is the excellence of Tyrese Maxey. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can't even explain this. But Tyrese gets up to half court, sees the whole paint wide open because all 4 of these guys here are on the perimeter, and Tyrese just decides to blow by bow leg. Look at Alec Burks' knees. We got it. Oh, wait. There we go. Look at Alec Burks' knees. Can we please talk about this? I'll replay this. Bang. He makes that initial reaction. He sees right here. He's already understanding what he's going to do. He has Alec Burks in the perfect position, Mitchell Robinson in the perfect position. Julius Randle and Evan Fournier aren't even playing basketball right now. I don't know what they're doing. And RJ Barrett in the corner. RJ Barrett's a very good defender, may I add. Tyrese already has made his mind up here. Bang. And 1. It's incredible. It's incredible. The energy that he brings, the athleticism that he has is great. So here is, first of all, I want to go with Matisse Thybulle's steals after this because Matisse Thybulle was an absolute defensive savant tonight. He was really great. But Matisse here is like Darius Slay. He's in there with his hands, and he picks it loose. Immediately looks up, gives it to Toby. And it's a wide open shot. I mean, there have been so many wide open buckets here for Tyrese because Evan Fournier, I mean, they're not really a great defensive team. They should be, but they're not. Tyrese, wide open 3 in front of the bench, bucket. That's what he does, dude. That's what he's proven time and time again this year that he is. He's a knockdown shooter. This is the hardest shot I've ever seen anybody ever take and make. 8 seconds left. Tyrese seems to be the guy that we go to. Even without Embiid on the court, Tyrese seems to be the guy we go to when it's like shot clock running down, right? Shot clock running down, we always seem to go to Tyrese because Tyrese is the quickest guy in the world. It's Usain Bolt if Usain Bolt played basketball. So here we go with 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Tyrese gets the ball from George. Now there's 6 seconds left, and Tyrese Maxey has the ball at the logo. 5 seconds left. Is yet to make a basketball move. 4 seconds left. Still at the logo, and he's finally making a move. The fact that he makes this shot right here with 3.9, he makes the decision right here. He's going to take a floater. Dude, the man is behind the free throw line with 3 seconds left and decides he's going to hit this floater. Bang. This is an otherworldly shot right here. An otherworldly shot. And the fact that it swishes in the way that it swished in, I couldn't believe that I saw that. So here we go, full speed. Tyrese is just, you can't explain shots like this because this is a bad shot. Any other player in the NBA is missing that. It's great defense, and it just went in. Here we go. As you see, Tyrese is in the corner here. James Harden off of a pick. And Maxey does a great job here of following the ball. So as an offensive player, especially as a point guard like Tyrese Maxey, you're always taught to rotate. It's constant rotations as an offensive player. And so Harden is making this cut downstream. And so him and Embiid are cutting down. Tobias Harris cuts down with him. So naturally, Tyrese Maxey's job is to go further up over the key. And that's exactly what he does. He respots himself to find himself wide open, and then bang. Easy floater, which is, again, a tough shot for anybody, but it's that pump fake that he does, and it's beautiful. His rotations are beautiful. He's always making the right play. And on this one, I mean, this is just James Harden. This is literally just James Harden. James Harden running a fast break is so deadly because everybody's staring at him. Look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 guys staring at James Harden, and then Mitchell Robinson on Embiid because Embiid lives rent-free in this man's head. So there are 4 guys on the other end that are staring at James Harden, his eyes, waiting for him to do something because they all expect him to do something. And then everybody else can just position and just spot up. So Shake goes to the corner, which is surprisingly probably the reason why Tyrese got so open here, is because he pulled Alec Burks, I think that is, with him in the corner. That's exactly what it is. And Alec Burks is quickly realized, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I left Tyrese wide open. But he also kind of sees Toby. And for some reason, I just think this is a really bad play on Alec Burks' part. He decides to guard Shake Milton in the corner, which is probably the better play because it's behind him. And I think this is just Evan Fournier as you see him jetting over to Tyrese because he's like, oh, damn, this is my matchup that I messed up on. Harden quickly just realizes it's Tyrese, and Evan Fournier goes to the corner because Alec Burks probably should have moved up and guarded Maxey on that play, but he didn't. I mean, this is on Alec Burks. Originally, this was on Evan Fournier because this is Fournier's man, or at least side of the ball that he needs to be tracking. But instead, Harden finds Maxey. You can see Fournier's face like, shit, I messed up. Easy wide open shot. That's a bucket. Alec Burks is pissed. Okay, so that perfectly answers my question of whose fault is this? It's whose fault is this? It's Evan Fournier's man. Evan Fournier, as you see in the beginning of this play. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know what Evan Fournier is doing on this play. Tyrese, easy bucket. 3. I mean, that's just, I don't know. That's just really bad defense. It's just really bad defense. This is a cool little angle. Give it back to Reese. That's just Tyrese being an absolute freak of nature. I mean, again, I'm not going to break this one down that crazy because it's just Tyrese shooting out of a goddamn cannon, using his body, using his hand positioning there to beat Mitchell Robinson. He's unbelievable. He's literally unbelievable. Matisse, again, a phenomenal steal. And this play is wild. The fact that Tyrese was able to catch this basketball to begin with, but then just one motion, go up for a shot. Bang. Look at that. Look at that. Look at where he caught that. And then to go all the way up like that, one motion, that's some of the best. That's just a freak athlete. That's just a freak athlete. I wanted to replay it, but I messed up. And of course, again, as I've said for the 3rd time now watching his highlights, he is the guy the Sixers rely on at the end of the shot clock because he, for some reason, knows how to make anything work when he's on the court. 5 seconds left. We're up by 8. 2.5 left in the 4th quarter. And Maxey makes a James Harden-esque sidestep 3-pointer. That's just disgusting. I mean, that play is phenomenal. Look at the confidence of this kid. That's an unbelievable shot. That's genuinely an unbelievable shot. And that's what he did today. That's it, right? 21-7. 21-7. Tyrese is incredible. What up, Key? I honestly really enjoyed breaking that down. I mean, Tyrese, man, on that one specific play, too, it goes to show, A, how bad Evan Fournier is at defense, because that man had no idea what the hell was going on 85% of that. But B, Harden is such a dominant player that the gravity that he brings in on every dribble move, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, him being open like that, poor defense, yeah, 100%. Knicks are bad, yeah, 150%. Harden's a stud and demands all eyes on him, 200%. Priceless, is that what it is? What's the commercials? All right, I kind of want to get into some other buckets too. I mean, I had a lot of fun today watching this game. There's 3 steals here in Matisse, and I want to talk about these. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be quicker. Let me share screen. All right, so what do we got here? 10 seconds left on the shot clock. RJ's got the ball. Normally, this man's going to want to drive on Harden because Harden's not a very good defender, right? He's not the worst, but he's not very good. Matisse sees that. I don't know what Tobias Harris is doing, but that's usually the case. Like, I never know what Tobias Harris is doing. So Matisse sees that RJ already has the step on Harden, and I mean, RJ Barrett probably wins this. Matisse, doing Matisse, Darius Slay, elite cornerback type shit, picks that clean. And then what does this do? This leads to an easy fast break bucket. Tyrese Maxey scores this 3. That's basketball. Matisse is just such a good help defender. He's such a good systematic defender. He wants to get the ball out of his hands immediately because he knows he can't dribble and his dribbling ability is at the level of an 8th grader. But you know what? His defense is among the best I've ever seen. This is why you don't trade him for James Harden. This is why Seth Curry, as much as I love him, is the guy that you have to throw in that deal rather than Matisse Thybulle. This is why Andre Drummond, as much as we miss him probably the most out of those guys on that trade, you have to throw him in. You have to throw him in over Matisse Thybulle because what Matisse Thybulle does is so hard to find. Here, Alec Burks has got the ball at the top of the key. They set a pick. Tyrese is on this back hip. Not a good sign for Tyrese, but he's quick enough he can usually, be fast enough to get back in front of Alec Burks. Alec Burks doesn't even bother, right? Julius Randle is doing Julius Randle shit, and this is a Ben Simmons pass. This is what Ben Simmons lives to do. Pick up your dribble, jump as high as you can, and just chuck it to somebody that you see open. The problem is, Alec Burks is deep down the guy who's open on this shot. But instead, he's going to go to RJ Barrett because his court vision is embarrassingly bad. Matisse, easy steal because he sees that coming a mile away. You see Matisse's eyes right here. I mean, he's already making a break for the ball, and you don't even really know where this ball is headed. I mean, you could safely say and argue that it's pretty clear that this ball is going to RJ Barrett. But if this is Harden, he's going to make that eye contact and then make this little dump-off pass right down low to Jericho Sims. But it's the limited ability of passing. Though Randall's a better passer than he used to be, he's not as good. He's not a great passer. He's good, but he's not great. And so he's more predictable, and it's much easier to predict where he's going with the basketball. And that's exactly what Matisse Thybulle does on this play. Easy steal. And again, this leads to an easy, maybe not easy, but a fast break opportunity and points. I really wanted to watch that again. That's okay. All right, this one. Julius Randle, ISO basketball is my favorite thing to watch because he sucks. He's not good. He's a volume scorer. He's not efficient. And I love the Niang on Julius Randle defensive matchup there because it's kind of perfect. He's a dude who is not very tall, is aggressive, low to the ground. He doesn't need to be a crazy athlete because Randle deep down is not a crazy athlete. Where is Matisse on this play? He's behind Jericho Sims. Again, what he's going to do here is help defense. I don't remember this play. So before watching the rest of it, there are probably 2 options of what happens here. He's going to cut off the pass to Evan Fournier pretty easily, I would say. But he's also in perfect position to swipe the ball away from Randle if Randle continues to drive. I think he's probably going to end up passing it to Evan Fournier, and I would assume Matisse probably steals it that way. But let's see the full play here, and let's see what happens. Because I honestly, I don't remember. Wow, okay, well, I'm wrong. I am extremely wrong. So, what Julius Randle did here was actually pretty impressive. If Randle made the pass right here, if Randle made this pass, Matisse steals it. But if he also kind of doesn't fake this pass, Matisse steals it. So what Julius Randle does is take another step, and somehow he puts it a little bit enough in the air that Matisse isn't going to steal it. I mean, Matisse still almost took that away from him. So now Matisse's unreal defensive ability, he's already back in the play, right? He's already back in the play despite kind of overplaying on that pass, which is so impressive. I mean, his quickness and his explosiveness on the defensive end is really good. So Matisse is now in the pick and roll. And the moment, I mean, this is unbelievable defense. The moment Evan Fournier makes that crossover and makes that little move, he puts the ball out a little bit too far. Matisse is there, and he swipes it. It's unbelievable. That's genuinely unbelievable. It doesn't get better than that, man. It doesn't get better than that. Really is. It's really, really impressive. Really impressive. Not much. Not much. Bro, it hurts me that Zumof's not here because I know deep down my voice cracked. I know deep down Zumoff deserves this just as much as Embiid. So that hurts. That hurts. As they should be, Robert California. Great name, by the way. I love The Office. I don't think you're going to see a team draft Bronny any bit higher than they need to. I don't know, man. Maybe a team that's like one piece away decides to take him like first round. Because he's like a mid to late second round value, I thought, as where I see now. But I don't know if I would call Matisse the best defender in the NBA. He needs to be a little bit more consistent, and his on-ball defense is not great, but he is the most unique defender in the NBA for sure. For sure. I think he's really great in his own little style of play. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I've had fun. It's already been an hour and 16 minutes. I might pull this to an hour and a half. And then call it a day. But it's been real with you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over to look at the Knicks. Randall had 16, 10, and 7. 3 turnovers. I don't really think he's a very efficient player. I mean, he's not. He went 4 of 13. Even RJ Barrett, man. 6 of 10 from the line. That's pretty brutal. 7 of 12 is pretty brutal from Julius Randle. I mean, they just don't have guys that can hit free throws. And I don't really understand their rotations. Emmanuel quickly has to play more. Obi Toppin has to play more. Jericho Sims gave him great minutes, surprisingly. He was actually really, really good. Alec Burks was terrible. Evan Fournier was pretty good from 3. He had a couple crazy step backs. But they're just not very good. They just don't really have a lot of good players. You know what I mean? They're just not a very good team. But they had one of the better games I think they could have had this year. You know, I think the Knicks probably played as well as they could have played. And they got the L. Goes to show how good that Sixers team was. It also goes to show, man, I don't think I was ever worried about the Sixers losing that game today. Even when we were down, I was like, all right, dude, we're just going to put James Harden back in with Joel Embiid. Like, what? We're not going to lose this. We're not going to lose this game. It's crazy, man. It really is. Team is really, really good. Really, really good. I think we're the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I know it's 2 games in, guys. I know how hard it is. But I think this team's the team to beat. I think this team's the team to beat. I mean, there's Beal rumors, but I don't know what to believe. I also don't want Bradley Beal because I think Tyrese Maxey's the man. But it's tough. I don't even want to think about it. I don't think we need to think about it. I think this year could be the year, right? And so let's kind of just live in the moment now. I'm excited, man. I know we're 2-0. I know it's only 2 games, and I know whatever. 89 combined points out of the big 3. First day, 87 today. Crazy efficiency. Their true shooting is all above 60% in each game. Maybe not Embiid's. I could be wrong on Embiid's, but really, really impressive performances all around. So I'm just loving it right now. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do all that, man. I love hanging out with you guys. It's been a lot of fun this past week. It's been big chats. It's been big, cool live streams. Pause, I guess. I don't know. But I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with you guys. I've met a lot of new people. A lot of new people in the chat that I haven't hung out with before. So it's dope hanging out with you guys now. What better time to be alive than James Harden in a goddamn Sixers jersey, bro? I'm still watching it in disbelief. Like, it's amazing to me. It really is amazing. So that being said, I'm going to hop off soon. If you guys have anything to say, let me know. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's underneath. GregMelly27. Make sure you follow my Instagram. Lucas, be sure to reach out to me if you want to talk about mods. or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's time to do that. I'm also very interested in doing merch. So if you guys are down to do some merch, or if you would like some merch, let's break into it. But I appreciate you guys coming out today, man. Appreciate everybody. Go Sixers, 2-0. Big game on Wednesday. We should win by over 15. That's my prediction. We're going to pull out over 15. Road to 2K right now, Lucas. We're on the way, bro. We are on the way. But I appreciate all of you. Until next time, go Sixers. Peace.